You like the beat, right? You like the beat.
I could have thought you use it for one of your songs.
Yeah, it's a Kid Smooth exclusive. Mm-hmm. Like I'm cycling.
That's what I thought.
I'm cycling. I own about like 40 beats that belong to me, so I could do whatever I want. Whether I want to do a mixtape with them all, or I could just use them as backdrop to gaming. Like I used to do shit with like my tax money and buy beats from producers. Like because when I was trying to become a rapper, when being a rapper was a thing to do. So, but what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Let's Talk Games podcast. We're officially episode 9. It's been 9 weeks with the homeboy, Notorious DRE. 9 weeks in, man, and it's been a pleasure, dog, man. How you been?
I'm doing good, man. Yeah, like you said, it has been a pleasure, man. I've really been looking forward to Fridays now, man. So it's definitely been a pleasure. How about yourself, man? How you been?
Man, I can't complain. It's been a week. We had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of back and forth, but good week. Got out today. I don't know if any of you guys are in the East Coast. It was 60 today, 70 yesterday. Yep. Got outside, got some fresh air, ate outside. Like I mean, whew, man. I'm a spring dude. I'm a spring baby. I'm a tourist, and I love
my birthday month.
March, March.
Yeah.
Okay.
23rd.
Yeah. All right. That's what's up.
Sir.
Yo, if you guys can let us know, like, is the music like? I want the music to be overpowering us. Is the balance okay with the music between us? I don't know if Dre, you could check that.
And how's my mic, man?
Your mic is good. Remember, we fixed it in the middle of the episode last week. So you're good. As long as you didn't adjust the settings between now and then, you should be good because you sound good in my ear right now.
Okay. So yeah.
And
let me see.
Shout out to D Almighty Spartan God, rocks the nobody. He's making fun of this beat.
What's up?
Just to give you guys a heads up, the I Get Stupid, that's actually B, and I had the producer like sample me up so I could sound like a chickmunk. So, but do you? I don't know if you could hear it. Can you hear if our sounds like good? Like I don't know if in the YouTube though. Like, could you?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure we weren't like being bodied.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
So let's jump right into it because you know what I forgot to do, bro. I forgot to grab the timer, dude. We'll have a timer on next week, bro. Well, I forgot to grab it. I was like, yo, I'm missing something. we're gonna have it, and it's gonna work out. But like I said, we only got really three topics and one main topic. So today's episode is called Bethesda Joins Xbox Exclusive Questions Answered, and we're gonna talk about that. But before we get into the steak and potatoes, we're gonna talk about the appetizer. So on March 18th, Square Enix is having their direct show, bro. Yeah. They're gonna talk about obviously Outriders.
Yeah, supposed to be some Outriders. There's supposed to be some Avengers.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because the next gen version comes out. Is it the 16th or the 18th?
The 18th. 18th.
The 18th. So the same day as the event. Okay. Yeah. And Outriders is April 1st.
April 1st. Yeah.
Did they mention Final Fantasy a part of this thing? Are they going to be talking about
it? They didn't. No, they didn't have it on the list
on the agenda.
Games, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it shows up though.
Yeah, but the one thing they did mention, which I'm pretty interested in, is Another Life is Strange, which is going to be revealed. I wasn't expecting that because I thought they was the first one is a classic. I don't know if you played it. Have you had experience with Life is Strange?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
Not yet. No.
If you're going to play one, play the first one. It's a classic story. That one touched me a little bit. That's the first time I almost cried at a video game. If I did cry, I don't know. So Life is Strange 1 was very good. Life is Strange 2, I didn't like it because I didn't like the story. I couldn't relate. It came out in the middle of the Trump administration, the early Trump administration, when everything was everybody's treating Mexicans bad and stuff like that. It was more so it was that story. It was their story. I feel like it had elements that could relate to our struggle, but it was applied to a different
like immigrants and stuff
yeah. So I was like, okay, but all in all, play it personally in terms of taste. I prefer the first one over that one. I really couldn't I stuck with it. I beat it and whatnot, but I didn't have a good connection to it the way I did with the first one. Okay. And then now we talked about this maybe our second or third episode about Life is Strange. I think this was during the oh my god. Well, I know it came up in the discussion. And I think I mentioned to you, hey, I want them to tackle the, I want a black story, right? Because Life is Strange, they do a good job tackling, the don't nod, right? With these Life is Strange-esque games, they tackle things like mental illness, homophobic, transphobic, all the stuff, the immigrant minority issues, just a lot of social issues that come up, right? A lot of current social issues that come up, right? Anxiety and all this other stuff. And I was like, all right, you kind of really dealt with all the stuff that, that's been put out there, right? So what is the third game about, right? So the only thing you haven't done between Life is Strange 1, 2, and Tell Me Why, you haven't covered, you haven't told really a black story. Yeah, the black people. And I was like, I would be very interesting if you guys gonna go that deep, right? If you're gonna go, you guys gonna go get political with some of these titles. Now it's time to become relevant. So they released a little screenshot, right, of an image with their Square Enix thing, and it looks like you can only see the backdrop of the character that they're probably gonna be focused on, and what it appears to be from a distance, right? The shape, I'm assuming it looks like it could potentially be, and I could be totally wrong. It looked like it could be potentially a black lead, but I'm gonna try to pull up this image, and I can tell from the image if it's a female or a male. Let's see.
If it is a black character, I just hope, I just wonder who's involved with it. Mm-hmm. Of course, I want are there actually black people involved with this new game? But if there's not, I hope that they do their research properly and tell a good story.
Yeah. I'm looking at this. All right, so I'm looking at it, right? It looks like, just on say, all right, it's definitely a female. Is it black? Is it white? If I would have showed, it looked like she has a little bit of a curve, right?
Oh, that's tough.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to
the hair is kind of short.
Yeah. It's like I'm trying to, We just got to see, like, because I'm not really interested in playing another, Life is Strange. Not Life is Strange. I'm not interested in another Tell Me Why story or another, the Before the Storm story. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm just curious to see what they do. But usually with Life is Strange, the characters, not only they're dealing with these, these social issues and these, these real life issues that occur, but there's always a paranormal aspect to the game. There's always a paranormal aspect to the game.
I was just about to ask you, is there some type of supernatural stuff?
Supernatural. My bad. I said paranormal. Okay. Yeah, supernatural aspect. There's always a supernatural aspect. The only even Tell Me Why has some sort of supernatural aspect to it as well. I'm trying to think if they're the only one that doesn't.
Like, how far do they go with it though? Like, is it like super out there?
No, they make it work.
Does it make sense?
It makes sense. They make it work in the realm. It makes sense. The only one that doesn't have it is Before the Storm, and Before the Storm is just a prequel to Life is Strange 1. It tells the story of is it Chloe? There's Max and Chloe, I think it is. I could be wrong with the name, but Chloe was like, every time I think about her, it was hard to play that game, being that I knew the outcome of her story through the first one, but that's why I'm interested into it. Like, otherwise, I would have just passed this on. But I am interested to see what this next Life is Strange game is going to be about, because I was not anticipating a Life is Strange 3.
And it's only on Xbox and PC, right?
No, Life is Strange is generally multi-plat.
It's on PlayStation. Oh, really? I never.
Yeah, okay. Life is Strange. I've played all of them on X. I don't think I played it on PlayStation, but I'm almost certain it's a multi-plat. I recall Life is Strange Before the Storm being a Game Pass title, being that it launched day and date, and obviously Tell Me Why was day and date in Game Pass. But Life is one of them has been a part of the game, like launch each week. It launched into Game Pass. The thing is, I hope they go the Tell Me Why model, and when I say that, Tell Me Why came out. Each episode came out each week. It was so the wait wasn't. It was like a TV wait. You know how when Netflix put out a show and they drop an episode like once a week, they try to give you that so you don't have that anticipation. Tell Me Why did that in Game Pass, which was great because it's like, all right, I beat it this week. Next week I got the next episode. No, next week I got the last episode. Tell Me Why. Okay. I mean, Life is Strange, however, is typically months though. It's usually like a month wait, or sometimes maybe a three to 4 week in between. And you get, but it's not. But I think Tell Me Why you get. I'm trying to think how it goes. It's usually 5 episodes per season. There's usually 5 episodes per season, and you get one a month. So I think if they're able to speed it up like they did with Tell Me Why, I think it'll be cool, because I think the waiting 4 to 5 weeks is played out. It's been a couple years since the Life is Strange, so I think they did the right thing with Tell Me Why. I'm not sure how it's gonna work with Life is Strange.
But like, do you like, so with the episodes, do they just unlock when like the next week comes, or do you have to like? Is it downloading a whole new game?
No, they just sort of unlock. I think each episode, like, I mean, I'm so used to playing on like Xbox, like games it just installs. Mm-hmm. So like when you pre-install a game, so I'm just trying to think how it was on Tell Me. I don't recall having to install the episode. Like, it will come out and it would have to install, but it would be pre-installed at the time that I got to play it. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I watched like, all right, let me wait for this thing to install. It just sort of just happened. Cool. Yeah, so shout out to the Raven Flow. Hit the like button, like he says. Hit that like button. We appreciate you guys. Man. The other thing that's taken place,
hold on, wait. Before we jump, going back to the Square Enix thing.
Yep.
Because I'm looking forward to Outriders, and so I hope they show what the in-game content is going to be. I mean, because we pretty much know the premise of the game. We know how the game plays and all that stuff. Yes. So I'm just hoping they show in-game content. But I'm really looking forward to that game. I was just playing some today. Matter of fact, they posted like stats for the demo, like how many minutes, how many times people use the powers and stuff. Some dude played the demo for 254 hours.
Already?
Yeah, it said one person played it for 254 hours. and it's a demo. Like, and you can't. It's like you're just replaying old story missions and side quests. It's not like he's doing stuff new. So I'm just like, what the hell did you get out of 254 hours of a?
Yeah, that's the thing. Speaking of, because I stopped playing the demo because I need to make room on my my hard drive for some of these these BE games. But the thing is, I know you've been continuously playing it. Like I want to play, but the thing is, my problem is, I know your stuff is going to carry over. Did you get a legendary item yet?
I have not, and that's the thing that's pissing me off. Because that's the only reason why I'm really that's the only reason why I go back to it. It's because I'm trying to get a legendary before the actual game comes out, but I haven't got one yet.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're like. Do you know anybody who has gotten one?
Yeah, people are getting legendaries, but I just haven't got it.
Yeah.
Oh, and they did fix the flag physics. On the
PlayStation.
PS5.
I saw you walking through flags.
Earlier
today, right? You sent the.
Yeah. And the clothes physics too. Like at first, I didn't even pay attention to like the clothes, but they now have physics too. So good job. People can fly.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I know they keep doing patch updates and stuff. I was like, please highlight the frame rate. Highlight the performance issues. The flag wasn't that much of an issue. I know they're talking about certain things, but I want to make sure the performance is going to be, on par, at least on the Xbox consoles. Like by the time the game launches, I still anticipate getting it. Now, the good thing you brought up Outriders, right? Because Xbox Game Pass account, they did one of their little email leaks, right? And they're trying to tease a game that's joining the service. And
you think it's gonna be Outriders?
That's what people are saying. They're saying it for a particular reason. I'll read you the damn, what type of horns? I'll read you the because I think I retweeted it. All right, and tell me if you find the highlight of why it would be Outriders. Okay. Some people, it says, this is from Melissa McGame Pass. She says, "Hey team. So much news today. Hope you don't mind if I add some more, although it's completely unrelated to the other announcements. The new game has been confirmed and is officially coming to the service. As always, keep this confidential. Before I go, I did have something I wanted to ask. Has anyone else noticed a mysterious signal appearing in the distance lately, or am I the anomaly in this situation?" Weird question. I know. Thanks, Melissa. They
do have anomalies in Outriders.
Yeah, so I'm like, is there another game that refers to anomalies?
That's good, man. It could be because there's no other game that I can think of that has anomalies.
I'm trying to figure, and it's like, because here's a problem, right, with this, right? Addict, it was about to send me $30 to game share, right? So I can, because I said I'm getting it day one, I'm going to pre-order it, right? Yeah. He's about to send me the $30, right, to do it. And this dude's coming, I didn't even get to hit him up yet. I'm like, bro, if this thing jumps game, I'm gonna hold off on my pre-order, cause like, yo, why not? If it's gonna be like, yo, like, it's like, all right. The other thing is Batman.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, my fault.
No, go ahead. Since
we're going back to Outriders, that would be a good idea to place it in Game Pass and in PlayStation Plus, if you ask me. Yeah. Just to. Because this game isn't going to hit with a lot of people, I don't think, because either they're too busy playing Destinies or there are other better looter shooters than Outriders is. Yeah. But if you could get it to where people, it doesn't seem like you're paying for something, then I think this is going to be pretty good. I think it's a good idea. It's definitely a good idea.
Good thing you brought that up, because when we discussed it, when we were talking about our impressions, right? We found like interest in it, but we know clearly this is not going to take Destiny players away from Destiny or Division players away from it. It's like I feel like it's a generic version, and it's going to be easy for newcomers to grasp on because their gameplay mechanics are nice. It's easy and easy to hop into, but people that play Destiny and the Division might find it too generic, too easy, and it's not enough. It may not appease to them. So they know they probably know, all right, based off the results of the demo, how many people are playing this demo right now, right? This free demo.
2 million.
Yeah. Is that enough? Because how many people played the Destiny beta when it first came? Remember Destiny when it first launched? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they're going to see it. It's like, all right, are we going to crash and burn? Do we make some last minute adjustments, throw this in the subscription base, and then at least guarantee us like some sort of survival in like the first couple months, right? Right. So that's a possibility. The other possibility that people are pointing out, because it's sort of, and when she said unrelated, when she talking about unrelated to the announcements, are you talking about the Bethesda news? Obviously that makes sense because those are the announcements that's been going on. But there was like Batman Arkham Knight, the latest game, had a Series X and S symbol on it. A couple like, but it's like it's not optimized yet, right? But it's already in Game Pass. So it's like you can't. If she's talking about that, the game's already in the service, so it's not coming to the service if it's already in the service. However, she said, "Did you notice the symbol in the corner?" That's that did make headlines, but it's obviously it's not there. It's like, all right, so is it both, or is she referring more so to like Batman like getting added to the Xbox Series X and S optimization because it had the symbol prematurely?
That's okay. That's a good choice too. Both of them are good choices, and they both make sense with the wording. Yep. So that's
Let me get a shout out to Optimus Code Gaming from the Inside Out. Again, just a shameless plug. Like me and Optimus Code got beef.
I'll be seeing y'all going back and forth.
So Optimus Code finally started his YouTube channel. It's an educational channel for because a lot of people ask him questions about graphics, how the shit works. So he's kind of giving you basics 101 on how shit works before he starts getting deep in it and stuff like that. So simple. Good stuff. Mm-hmm. I just felt like he picked the wrong time to do his channel. He did his channel as a fucking troll. He did his channel during his troll phase, which pisses me off. I would have appreciated this channel like sometime last year, but I appreciate the $25. He says Xbox got no games. Ha 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 ha. Good show for y'all. Appreciate you, Optimus Code. Check out Optimus Code. When things start calming down, we will eventually have guests. And Optimus, you're obviously always welcome. You're always welcome on Planet Xbox. Love to have you here on this show as well. But shout out to Optimus Code. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. If you like his Twitter content, go to his YouTube content so you can kind of get all the context. All right. Yeah. And what else? So that's
also Dying Light 2. Yes, it's having there. It's having a little, I guess you call it presser or whatever. Update.
The dev team woke up like the Undertaker with their tweet. Yes, we're going to be talking about this game next week. Yep. What do you think we're gonna? What are we getting from that, Dre?
Update, man. We got to see how far along they are with this game. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure we're going to get a release date.
You think? Or a release window?
We get a release date. We absolutely have to get a release date. Absolutely. And just seeing how far along, see how the game is coming along. I'm a big fan of Dying Light. The first one is actually I call it for myself the best zombie game I've ever played. I love Dying Light. I love Dying Light. So I'm super excited for Dying Light 2 and to see because it looked good from the initial reveal that they had.
Yeah. It's like what went wrong? Yeah, like
I don't know. Yeah, that's the $1 million question. What did go wrong? But so hopefully I'm excited. I'm really excited. Hopefully it looks good and we get some good news out of it.
Now, prior to this, because their account's been dead for quite a while. Prior to this, though, remember there was a rumor, right? Remember the rumor a couple weeks ago that Xbox is supposed to be buying Techland and Dying Light 2 is supposed to be exclusive. Mm-hmm. Now, do you think I don't think Xbox has acquired Techland, but do you think this thing shows up as updated as next gen only or as Xbox only? Do you think do you think we'll find that out next week?
I think it will be next gen only. Mm-hmm. I think it will be because maybe that's part of the problem that they were having. They were trying to get it to run on last gen and it just couldn't run. Mm-hmm. So they hope. I'm hoping they made that decision to keep it current gen. Mm-hmm. And I can see Xbox acquiring them as well. Xbox is throwing their cash around, man, and they ain't afraid to say it either. They are definitely throwing their cash around. I mean, I can see it. Maybe they could have like some kind of exclusive content. You know, like how PlayStation does with their exclusive content and stuff. But yeah, I can see Xbox buying Techland. Definitely can see that.
All right. So I mean, I
They're
don't know
trying to cover all genres.
yeah,
so.
I don't know if the acquisition itself what happened, but I think something's going on with this game. But then again, it's also just a development update. So all the stuff that we're probably expecting, we want a release date, we want to know what console's coming out. We probably won't even get that. You know, we might get like, you know, like it might be something really mundane and small, but who knows? But it's spring, right? Well, we're almost there. So this is the time of the year where people are start gearing up for, you know, their reveals, because remember, we don't know what games is coming out this year other than like a select few. So we're about to start finding that out. And I don't know if you follow Jeff Grubb, right?
I do not.
Jeff Grubb, you know who he is. He last year, remember, so you might have, but you had to have seen it. So last year he was posting during the summer's games mess, the post of, remember he had these checklists of dates of what was going down. But these were pre-announcements. He was like, "Oh, Xboxing Day in June or July, something like that." He had it, and then they will update the next week with a date before, and that's how people were finding out the dates of like the PlayStation events, the date of the Xbox events, because he was posting them. So he started doing it. He did it again last week. He posted it, and he had the Xbox Bethesda thing, which happened yesterday. He had that date already for March 11th. So that was already came and went. So that was confirmed correct. He also said that publishers abandoning like summer's games mess and stuff, publishers doing their own thing this year. It's like they're going AWOL for the summer. So what that means is, are we going to get stuff like earlier, later, or is it just going to be randomized? Like, so the fact that Square Enix came out and said, you know, they're having some sort of a presentation, next week, that made me think. I was like, okay, so I don't expect to see Square this summer if they're going now. Last year, Ubisoft had 2 events. They had one in, I think they had one in May, and then they had another in August. That happened for their games, for all their games that were coming out within the next 6 months. And I think in the second show, we got to see Far Cry, and I think the first show, the headliner was Valhalla. So I mean, just a couple of things, but that I picked up on. The isn't Xbox supposedly aren't they supposed to have a showing or something coming up? Yeah,
like
there's a rumor of
it's a rumor,
event, some sort of gaming related event. What's next in gaming? For March 26th or March 23rd. So Paul Thurrott said around March 23rd. Jez of Xbox 2 Podcast and Windows Central said he got tipped off for March 26th for an exact date. Don't know what it is. No one wants to tell what it is. But the last time something was mentioned to that, remember there was a rumor of the Elden Ring going to be premiered at an Xbox event on March 23rd, right? Greenberg stepped in with a tweet, Aaron Greenberg, and said, "No, don't expect anything like to that magnitude or something like that at the show." So if he said that about that, if it's the same thing, then don't expect any sort of. It's not going to be like a showcase then. Right. That what we're expecting. That's going to take place in the summer, which they alluded to in a roundtable thing yesterday with Bethesda and stuff like that. So
what could it be then? Like, what could they possibly want to tell people that if it's not games? If it's not
it could be a milestone update for xCloud. It could be something for xCloud, because xCloud still has to launch on Windows. It still has to launch on iOS and TVs. And
it's coming to TVs?
Yeah, it's coming to TVs at some time this year. Yeah. So okay. I think if it's not going to be something to like where we're going to get a bunch of presentations, then it has to be something related to the cloud in its next rollout. They already updated the internet browser on Xbox to Chrome. Chromium, the Edgeum Chrome is already out for Windows desktop, and I think we're gonna get like an actual release window for for Windows PCs and for iOS of when people can start streaming Xbox games officially. Okay. But we'll see.
Nice. Okay. Well, yeah, because I definitely want to try the xCloud, but I'm just waiting for it to come to iOS, man.
Yeah. I have a tablet. Actually, here we go. I was looking for this shit earlier. I have xCloud on this, and it's probably dead because I never charge it. Yes, this is a Galaxy Tab. Look at all the dust on this thing, but it's a Galaxy Tab. I played a couple games on it when I took a trip down to South Jersey and I needed something to play. I mean, it was cool. I think I beat Tekken on this thing. Tekken 7, it was. Played through the whole like single player on this. If you look at all my achievements, it all came through my playthrough on this shit via xCloud.
Now, does xCloud work on cellular data, or do you have to be connected to Wi-Fi?
No, it works on both cellular data and Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Absolutely. Nice. So that's why 5G is a big deal for it, because the signal will be even stronger. And I think this thing was made based around 5G, but it takes. I mean, I was running it on LTE. But when I did it, it works. I almost bought the Galaxy Note, but I was like, I ain't replacing my damn iPhone to play no damn Xbox games on a fucking phone. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying for another phone bill to do it. I almost did it, and I was like, I'll wait. And once I do it, I'll get the clip that I want and play the games and we'll be good.
What's the hold up? Who is holding up xCloud on iOS?
Apple. They don't want, because the thing is, as if you look at the way that I'm gonna just replace some gameplay right quick. If you look at the way Game Pass is right now, right, with the app and whatnot, it is Apple prefers games to be sold or accessed separately through the App Store. Okay. So because Game Pass has all the games in the app, Apple can't make money off anything. So because you're not selling them, they're not selling those games individually, and so they won't allow it. So Microsoft when Microsoft even, because remember there was an xCloud test on Apple before. This is how they decided they weren't going to let it happen. When it came down to test iPhones they only allowed them to do one game, which was Halo Master Chief Collection. Whereas when we did Android, it started off with 5, 6, 7 games or something like that. So they would only let them do one game, and the one game had to be its own app. So that's obviously against what Microsoft is trying to do. So they shelved it, and the only way Xbox can get around it is by going through the browser. So if you open up that's how Amazon is doing it on iOS. They got to go through a browser. If you do a browser, then you're not going through Apple's App Store.
I got you. Got you. Understand.
Yeah. Okay. So so that's pretty much how that's going to pretty much work.
But so with the App Store will be more efficient than a browser, though, right? Because the App Store, you're downloading it from a browser. Well, never mind. It's streaming it either way, right?
Yeah, it's streaming. Okay. Just like how because can't we play Stadia on Apple? And I'm pretty sure it's through a browser. It's not a typical. And Optimus says Xbox Game Pass is a direct competitor to Apple Arcade, and Apple is blocking it, which he's absolutely right. They are blocking it. Is being blocked. Apple is blocking it because it circumvents their business as well.
So shit, we might. Is it how likely is it that we even get?
No, they're going to get it because they can't block the browser. You know what I mean? They can't stop you from. Apple can't ban you from going to like a website. You know what I mean? What are they going to do? That's the only way they got to do it. I mean, technically, that's how PlayStation could probably get xCloud through a browser. But from what I know, the PS5 don't have a damn web browser right now.
I mean, it technically has one because you can. There's an option for a web browser, but nothing comes up though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe in the future.
Gotcha. So let's get into the beef, bro. Yeah. The beef.
Hold up. Whoa.
Go ahead.
Before we get in it, man, we gotta address the elephant in the room, man.
Okay.
Okay. My brother Smooth, man, my co-host, dog. Word on the street is that the love that you have for Bethesda right now, you really didn't have that love for them back then, and a lot of people were pulling up old tweets of yours.
Yeah, they did. They've been doing this. Go ahead.
I didn't see I did not.
They've been doing this since September.
And the way you was going at Bethesda back in the day. What? Why did it change your heart, man? What happened? What's going on?
All right. So why was I even going at Bethesda? All right. I actually had no personal issue with Bethesda. It's a long story that goes back. It goes back to 2014, 15, whenever like Fallout 4 came out. I had good friends we game here and Hard Not Gamers. One of my good friends in the YouTube community, and he actually just came back with the multiverse show that's back, is Anchorman V. Anchorman was sort of this dude that sort of got a lot of us YouTubers like together on got us into like podcasting and just putting people forward, because he used to do videos, and he was inspired by other people like Arsenal and whatnot. So Anchorman was a cool dude, level-headed dude, but he was a big fan of Bethesda and Fallout. And when Anchorman speaks highly of a game, he tries to get people to play it. Same thing, he was a big fan of like Minecraft, and I'm like, I ain't playing that shit. Like, no, like I don't even like personally like Minecraft. I like Minecraft Dungeons because it's a different game, but Minecraft, the base game, I don't like it. Right. So he was like, oh yeah, we've got to get you in the, you got to play Fallout. Like Fallout is going to do this. Fallout's going to win Game of the Year. Fallout's going to outsell this. Oh, when Fallout got announced, and he was talking about, I remember, I'm a fan of Tomb Raider. You can say it, right? Remember, Tomb Raider came out, I think, the same day as Rise of Tomb Raider came out the same day as Fallout 4. And we would go at it because he was like, oh, they're stupid. They better move their date. I was going to get trashed, da-da-da. We would go at it all the time. So I would go out there and make, every time Bethesda had like an event or something, I would go out and be like, Bethesda's trash, to trigger Anchorman. Mm-hmm. I would do it all the time. It would and then when it comes to their E3s now, when I say I mostly avoid Bethesda games, right? People don't understand. Like back then, when I say Bethesda games, it was the Fallouts. I couldn't play Fallouts. I had never beaten a Fallout. Like the Fallout that I got deep into was Fallout 3 for the Xbox 360. But at that time, I was young, immature. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But I played a decent amount, and I was like, man, this is too boring. So when Fallout 4 was announced, I didn't care about it. I was like, from what I played of Fallout 3. I have no interest in Fallout 3. Of course, I'm buying Tomb Raider all over Fallout 4. Absolutely. So that was that. And then when Bethesda have their E3s, people are like, oh, their E3s are so great. Da, da, da. Now, I will admit, in 2017, I went through to their E3 show. It was the best showcase I've ever been to. They fed me. Word. It was a party. I enjoyed it. Right.
Nice.
But in terms of their games, when I said I mostly avoid Bethesda games, I was speaking more so of Fallout and Elder Scrolls, because those are, I've never gotten to. I think I might have, I played that. I did like and play a whole lot of Oblivion though, because that was like around Xbox 360 launch, and I thought that was cool. But like I didn't get into Skyrim or anything like that. I didn't buy it. So when I said I mostly avoid Bethesda games, that was pretty much true. I didn't play their games. They're hardcore RPGs that take up a lot of the time. They're slow paced, slow moving. Those were true statements. When I said that, I wasn't talking about id, Machine Games, Tango, and all their games or anything like that. That had nothing to do with their games. I know back then I didn't know they were all technically Bethesda. I just knew those titles. I always knew Bethesda for Fallout and Elder Scrolls. I didn't know them for Doom and Quake and all that other stuff. So when I was just talking about that, it had nothing really to do with their entire portfolio. It was mainly those major RPGs, which I knew they were big. I just wasn't into them. So I mean that's the truth there. Like I mean, it's just like a lot of people want to give me, and they keep going back and grabbing my tweets. It's like, bro,
they on your ass, boy.
They've been doing that since September, and I've been blocking. I blocked about like 15 people doing that shit. Like so, like. But let me give these super chats, man. Dirk Griggity, what's up? He says, what's up, Smooth and Dre? Keep doing y'all thing, Smooth. It's okay to have a change of heart about Bethesda. Everybody else be flip-flopping. Do you, bro? No, that's true. Everybody's flip-flopping, right? Fizo007 says Microsoft acquires ZeniMax Studios. Bethesda is one only. I guess when people they say Bethesda, they mean ZeniMax. Yeah, it is true. It's like people like, but I don't care. I'm like, if you could call me a flip flopper, I'm happy. You tell me Xbox, bruh. There's a lot of studios I don't freak. You could probably find tweets of me saying I don't like Ubisoft games because for a while I didn't like Ubisoft games until they started doing what they did with Assassin's Creed and I'm pretty sure I had a lot of shit to say about certain Ubisoft games, especially earlier in the generation. I was not a fan. I'm a fan now because I feel like they lately they've been putting out freaking bangers that I freaking like. And there were games that I've been connecting to. Earlier Ubisoft, there wasn't a lot of games I connected to like that. But yeah, I mean, like,
but keep it up, keep it 100. You rocking with them because they with Xbox right now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If Bethesda would have been bought by PlayStation, man, I'd be like F them. Like it is what it is. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna pretend that I was this biggest fan of them. The material's out there, so I'm like, well, I don't know why people putting this out like I'm afraid of. Like, no, what is that gonna do? Is Xbox gonna all of a sudden sell them now because I said I didn't like them? Like, what the? That doesn't mean nothing. I'm still gonna buy. I'm gonna play their games on Game Pass. I'm gonna screenshot them. I'm gonna share the clips. I'm gonna review them. I'm gonna be laughing and shit, and you guys are gonna be mad because all you guys, those old tweets still hold on to, they don't mean anything. But
fans are hurt right now, but they don't want to admit it. But PlayStation fans are hurt and they're in their feelings right now. They are definitely in there. But let's get into it.
Absolutely. So Bethesda joins the Xbox. It's been a strange week, right? Because Tuesday we had the Xbox Wire post, right? And Dre, you said, man, I don't agree with this. They should keep them shit exclusive. Like, you know what I mean? It had everybody talking. And then they had the sit down, which took place yesterday. Wow. Yesterday, sit down. And within the first, now, let you know who's asking Phil Spencer these questions. P. Hines, who already works for ZeniMax. He's there. He's the Aaron Greenberg of ZeniMax. P. Hines, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Like a project manager. I mean, marketing manager.
Yeah. So he already works for ZeniMax, but he's asking him this question. So the ZeniMax guy is asking his new boss technically, all right, what are we doing with these games? And do you recall what Phil Spencer said, Trey?
So I do recall, he said contracts and legacy titles will run their course on the platforms that they are on. Mm-hmm. But everything else is exclusive to Xbox.
Or
Xbox PC, Game Pass.
And wherever Game Pass exists.
Wherever Game Pass, yes. Which, kudos, that's what they needed to do. Stop playing the nice guy when the other guys don't play nice with you. I'm so happy that Bethesda, all of it, Doom, Wolfenstein, all that is exclusive to Game Pass. Bravo. That's what they needed to do. That's exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah. And you know, and I was flipping out onto it because I already I had knowledge that oh these are exclusive, but when that post came out on Tuesday, I'm like, what the fuck he mean by some games? I was like, but I was like,
legacy,
all right.
Like let's go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead. Well, I just wanted to bring up the legacy, but I think you were getting into that, so go. No.
I was just saying some games is like, all right, it eventually came to light, but no, because you also had a question about legacy, and we went back and forth on Twitter. So that's why I want you to, because I know if you came to any sort of realization, or I want you to make your point.
Okay, because the way you explained it to me was that the legacy titles that are already on that platform, and I get that, I understand that, but when I first thought about it, I was like, okay, you say legacy. I understand that, okay, legacy titles on other platforms. But a legacy could mean a franchise, like a legacy franchise. Yeah. So does that mean that the new games in that legacy franchise are going to still go to other platforms, like Elder Scrolls 6, the next Doom and whatever stuff like that. So when you explained it to me, I understand what you're saying, but I still think that is a gray area, and they need to explain that, like, fully. Like, they need to explain that. Like, what does legacy mean? Like we need to hear that from Phil Spencer. Like, you know.
All right. So legacy, is this how I look at it? Like, do you know how apps, like, you know how there's like legacy apps on like Windows, or legacy operating systems like Windows 7. Like, people won't get off Windows 7. People won't. There's still people on like Windows XP. Like, you know how they like our legacy platforms will still get supported. Legacy is exactly this. And I think Tony was getting confused by this. The thing is that there's a lot of, it's Bethesda, right? They have legacy titles on other platforms. Now, when they say, and some of those legacy titles are live, they get support. Like Elder Scrolls Online got another expansion coming out this summer. I think it's this summer or this fall. It's going to come out on PlayStation. They're not going to block that. When they say that, they're pretty much saying they're not going to pull a Disney and go through all these streaming platforms that have their product on there and pull them shits off. So, because technically, Xbox can technically go into PSN and pull every Bethesda title off the store to not be sold again. And if you happen to own a game, you just own the game, whatever, but nobody can now buy it.
Gotcha.
So, for example, if there's a game and needs a title update, let's say Skyrim Remastered needs a title update to fix a frame rate or some shit like that on PlayStation. I mean, it's a legacy title. It's going to get that support. They're going to update it. Fallout 76 got years of expansion coming out. Elder Scrolls Online has years of expansion coming out. Those are going to continue to get supported on whatever platform they're on. And the games like Doom Eternal just got another DLC and shit like that. Those titles will remain on those platforms. So just because he said legacy title, a lot of people said legacy. Well, Elder Scrolls got a whole legacy of titles. If they're doing another one, that means it's got to come. No. Those titles that are already there, if they got any support that needs to be done, they're going to be supported. They're going to get updated. Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76, okay, boom. And another people point out was the whole thing where he said contractual agreements and future stuff that we're doing. Yeah. Now, we know there's 3 games. Like Deathloop is a contractual obligation that comes out in May, right? That's the near future, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's, babe, can you close the door? There's also Ghostwire Tokyo, which is probably maybe a year or so away. That's also in the future. And then you got a deep future title that's probably multi-plat because it's Disney LucasArts, which is Indiana Jones, which is probably 3-4 years down the line. And by the time that game comes out, they're already operating Xbox Studio at this point when that game comes out.
Let me ask you something. Do you think, because remember that we got the announcement that Elder Scrolls 6 was coming out before they got acquired. Do you think Elder Scrolls is under a contractual game and will release on PlayStation? You don't think so? Oh, train.
That train, bro. All right.
I got you.
So, no. Both Elder Scrolls was announced as just to get, because Elder Scrolls was just announced just to get people hyped. It was never even announced for a platform. That's how true. Far in the future it was for. They just like, we're working on it. Like, what deal who they would have made that for? That was like.
I mean, hold on, but at that time, people would put 2 and 2 together. We kind of know what platforms they were coming.
Yeah, but it was just said next generation, but it's a future pre-production announcement means nothing. There's nothing negotiated at that point.
Right. Okay.
And also Starfield, when that was revealed, and Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 were revealed the same day, both by JPEGs, right? Mm-hmm. So they weren't announced for a particular platform. They were just announced.
But there was a rumor that
PlayStation was negotiating. They were trying to do some fuck shit like they did with Deathloop. They were trying to do some fuck shit like they did with Deathloop to try to secure exclusivity. And they didn't get to close the deal on that. And at that point, I mean, If you ain't close an exclusive deal, I mean, I don't think you gotta, do at that point. Release is up to release. So I don't know, man. It's I don't believe personally. I feel like the contractual games are the games that we know of. Deathloop, Ghostwire Tokyo, Indiana Jones. I have 110% confidence Starfield is exclusive to Xbox and PC this year.
Okay, so you think it's coming out this year?
I think it's coming out this year.
No, we know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. That's how Bethesda
is. If there's one thing that I appreciate about Bethesda is that when they're ready to reveal a game, it's coming out that year. The Bethesda core studios, not their subsidiaries. Like I know Doom, like in id Software, they'll show gameplay of a game and then they may not release until like the following year. But generally, when it comes to a Todd Howard game, the day they show a demonstration, they announce a release that year for that year.
They did that with Fallout 4, right?
Fallout 4, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
This is huge, man. Yeah. I don't care how you want to slice. This is huge for Xbox, dog. Cause people like Elder Scrolls is a massively popular game, man. And people like PlayStation fans are trying to they're trying to soften the blow, I should say.
Yeah.
Because they won't be able to play Elder Scrolls, and like that game is huge. Like PlayStation fans are just like they're in their feelings right now because they know that they won't be able to play Elder Scrolls. Which again, I'm gonna keep saying this because it's true. Elder Scrolls is huge, period. And for it to be exclusive to Game Pass, not going to 150 plus million users, yo. You got to give props to Xbox, man. You got to give props, man. What they did with this exclusivity, man. They're bringing it.
The thing is, I don't like what people are doing now, and it's like
But that's a trash.
It's that, but the also thing is like all these years, Xbox don't have no games. Xbox has no games. Xbox has no games. They finally buy somebody that pretty much does a certain amount of games each year, right? Quality games, and they only do AAA. I don't know if Bethesda making any indies. They've only they only do AAA games. And now that they learned it exclusive, now they want to talk about consolidation. No to consolidation. No to this is like a monopoly. These journalists, it's like shut up, man. Nobody want to hear that shit because you guys were happy when you could tout Xbox has no games. Sony does this shit. When Sony bought Insomniac, nobody said nothing.
Nope, that's right.
Nobody criticizes PlayStation like. Nobody criticizes PlayStation for holding Street Fighter only a legacy franchise that can be played anywhere.
Correct.
Last Street Fighter game Xbox has got was Street Fighter 4, and we don't get Street Fighter 5. That's a game in order. Last Final Fantasy game Xbox got current was Final Fantasy 15. We're not getting Final Fantasy 16, right? We're not getting a Sunset Overdrive 2 if they elect to make one. We're not getting another Spider-Man game. We can't even play with Spider-Man as a character.
Yep.
As a character.
Yep.
So come on, I was like, fuck the bullshit. I don't care. Like at that point, it's like you can't. Like nobody criticizes PlayStation for their aggressive deals. I remember back in 2015. Xbox could not market Destiny, even though it was a multiplayer game. They had to do a workaround and advertise a Destiny fragrance on Xbox.com.
Remember that? Yeah.
I'm like, bro, really?
Yep. And the thing is, like, people like Insomniac and PlayStation, they're synonymous with each other. But what people don't understand, Xbox and Bethesda are like PlayStation and Insomniac.
They are.
So this deal makes total sense.
Yeah. People keep forgetting, and shout out to Hustle and Motivate. Thank you for becoming a member. I mean, I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I appreciate you joining. But here's the thing about the Xbox and Bethesda, and people be like, oh, but no, Bethesda, they have ties to PlayStation. No, they don't. They didn't get ties until this year.
Shit, their games ran like crap on PlayStation. If people don't want to forget,
people forget that Bethesda's first console games, pretty much like they're not the core Bethesda, like the ones that make RPGs, were done on Xbox.
Yep, Morrowind.
Morrowind is the first. They did PC games. Yep. And they didn't start doing console games until Xbox came into the picture. So that's how Xbox got Morrowind. That's how Xbox got freaking Oblivion. It was damn near a launch title. Mm-hmm. Like they've either launched first or launched exclusively on Xbox before they started getting into things. And and PlayStation really just started getting excellent. I don't even know if PlayStation had any marketing rights for any of their previous games outside of the ones that they got coming. They typically rode with Xbox. Every time a Bethesda game came out, there was either an Xbox marketing or an Xbox bundle. Fallout, Xbox bundle. Fallout 4, Xbox bundle. Fallout 76, Xbox bundle. Skyrim, you know what I mean? Like everything, like the only thing, everything was more so Xbox. If they either had a marketing deal with Xbox or they didn't have a marketing deal at all. So,
and I think like what's eating that PlayStation fans the most is that these games that are going to be exclusive is right up the PlayStation alley. These single player adventure games, with these RPG elements, are right up their alley, and they won't get to play them.
Yeah, I mean they can play them. We can get themselves a Chromebook, get a Chromebook, or get us Galaxy Note, or get an Xbox Series S, the cheapest freaking like. I don't understand. I know, like I said, it's a cool thing that hate on Xbox, but I will give PlayStation this shout out to the PlayStation 5 for being I think the fastest selling console in the US. I know people are holding on to that as a win over this Bethesda deal, but we're gonna keep talking about this Bethesda deal because not only did Microsoft confirm exclusivity, was the first thing that happened when Bethesda deal was closed.
Like I said, I liked it. I liked that they came straight. Because remember, last week I told you they have to nip it in the bud. That they can't beat around the bush, and I'm glad that Phil Spencer went right for it. So people are going to be upset. Let them be upset. It'll mellow down. Come release. And PlayStation fans will know. Okay, we're not getting these games, so we just got to move on.
So.
Kudos to Xbox.
The other thing that they did was they updated Game Pass. Like today, if you launch Game Pass, bro, that is shit full of Bethesda. I downloaded quite a few titles. I'm not gonna lie, but they added name a list of games that they've threw on to Xbox Game Pass today. Is full of Bethesda IPs. There are missing a couple, and I think a couple of these they're missing is due to them being on PS Now, but I expect those to come down fairly soon and add it back into Game Pass. But right now, some of these was already on Game Pass, and some of these are new additions. You got Dishonored Definitive Edition, which wasn't on Game Pass actually at all. Dishonored 2 was currently on Game Pass. Doom 2, Doom 64, Doom 3, Doom Eternal, which was already on Game Pass, but
you said Doom 64?
Yep, is now on Game Pass.
Oh wow! Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, Fallout 76 with the Steel Dawn expansion, Prey, Rage 2, which has already been there, Elder Scrolls Morrowind, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, Elder Scrolls Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Wolfenstein: The New Order, which is the older one. Wolfenstein Old Blood, which is the prequel to the older one, and then Wolfenstein Young Blood, which is the sort of the side game they did with Arcane after Wolfenstein 2. Wolfenstein 2 was in Game Pass. It's going to be coming back soon because there's still games missing, such as Wolfenstein 2. The Evil Within 2 is missing, and I just found out I actually own that game, so I just installed it. Rage 1 is missing. The game Wet from the 360, but I don't even know if that's backwards compatible. Quake 4 is obviously missing, but that's not backwards compatible yet. Hopefully they do that. And
was that game? You remember that game Brink? That multiplayer, was that done by?
I'm not sure. I don't believe so.
Okay.
So there's still got a couple games I could go in there, but right now, I mean, there's a lot of content in there, a lot of single player content to really bench some single player content. Now, the other bonus that we got was via Major Nelson's podcast today, right?
Okay.
All right. So now we found out that 5 of these games are getting FPS boosts.
Oh yeah, I did hear that.
Yes.
Dishonored and
So the games that are getting FPS boosts, I'm gonna just talk about that because I've actually name dropped this. I think yesterday. Well, I name dropped it when I was talking about it, and I was like, you know what? And some of these games were actually on my FPS boost wish list video that I did, and I tweeted about it too. But so the games that are getting the FPS boost is Prey, which is I'm not touching it until it gets FPS. I know it was like a slow 30 FPS game, but you know on the Xbox I know it's like 4K already for the Xbox One X, and you double the frame rate, we're good. We're golden. Skyrim, which they'll get it and they don't have to worry about the mods, because right now you can do it, but it has to go through a mod, and I feel like the way Xbox Series X is implementing it, the way that they're doing it internally, is better than what you're going to get on the mods. So that's why I haven't touched it. So Skyrim's getting the 60 FPS boost. Fallout 4 is getting a 60 FPS boost. Fallout 76 is getting an FPS boost. And Dishonored, the definitive edition, they're getting a 60 FPS boost for 60 frames per second. And we should get an announcement soon. So that came from Jeff Rubenstein via Major Nelson's podcast. And Aaron Greenberg, I think, teased this yesterday also during a roundtable interview. So, you know, the gifts just keep on coming, bro. They keep on coming. Because I'm looking forward to the next batch that's FPS boosts.
Are these just the FPS boosts, or are they going to be X and S enhanced? Optimized, I guess.
No, they're not going to get X and S, because some of these now, luckily, some of these are already X enhanced. So the games that are like, so for example, Dishonored Definitive Edition, I think that was pre Xbox One X. So whatever resolution it is, it's probably it's 1080p, because I think the Definitive Edition was a remaster of a 360 PS3 game, right? Okay. So they were easily able to hit, you know, whatever target of 1080 30, right? Now it's going to be 1080 60, and you know you get the upscaling option and the texture and auto HDR shit that Xbox is going to do to it. Nice. Games like Fallout 76 were already it was Xbox One X, and it came out during the Xbox One X era. So that game is going to be at higher resolutions already. It's just going to get the FPS boost. Fallout 4 also, I believe, was already Xbox One X enhanced. Even though it came out earlier, it got retro updated like when the Xbox One X came out. So
we seen that demo of
Fallout 4 with the FPS. We already seen the demo of that one. It just wasn't ready yet. Skyrim is the remaster is obviously Xbox One X enhanced, 4K whatever. So it's going to just double the frame rate, so it'll be a 4K 60 game. Prey was a Xbox One X era game, so it will be the higher texture quality packs, and it's already the best looking version of the game on last gen technically. And then add the 60 frames per second. I mean, you got yourself a nice hit. So I mean, I don't think they're doing it would be nice for them to go back and do it, but I don't think they need to if all they got to do is update the frame rate to the cool thing is a lot of these games already had Xbox One X enhancement, and that's where it becomes cool, is like because the resolution is going to be already an acceptable resolution. It was those first batches where those shits was like 720 and 900p and shit like that, where these games are now, it's like, all right, these games are more recent, so they're going to look good, they're going to they're going to feel good. And they only covered the Bethesda games. I'm curious to see what the other games that are going to be with that batch, because this was just more so because of the Bethesda news.
Well, like Wolfenstein and Doom, those are
already 60. Right? So if they wanted to jump them to 120, I mean, now Doom Eternal though is actually getting a next gen version though.
Is it?
Yes, they announced that prior to the consoles coming out. Like, so that will get a natural next year, and they'll do it both for the PS5 and the Series X. That's that legacy support. They'll do it for both, but that's actually going to get an actual enhancement.
Okay.
Wolfenstein right now is currently, like I said, it's 4K 60. Like Wolfenstein was a 4K 60 game on last gen, but the frame rate was kind of up in the air, so they had to enable 2 dynamic modes to fix the frame rate. But now because they have a native 4K option, you could just run it at native 4K 60 on the on the Series X and whatnot. Yeah. So there's a lot of good things, and like I said, I'm going to start my Bethesda binge. Brag about it while people keep replying that I mostly avoid Bethesda games, but I played Doom Eternal, and man, that game looked crispy as fuck on it. So it's like do I stop and wait for the next gen update, because this shit looking kind of crispy right now.
When is it coming? When is the patch coming?
I'm assuming it's coming this year. It has to. I mean, the game came out Doom Eternal came out in May or June of 2020, right? And a lot of these late last gen games are starting to just get their update. Crash 4 just got his update, is here for PS5 and Series X. Marvel's get theirs next week. Marvel's Avengers. Tony Hawk, I think, gets there at the end of the month. So a lot of these games, and then obviously there's quite a few games that's getting it. So I expect Doom to get an update fairly soon. We might find that out even next week for sure of when that's coming.
Let me ask you something. Does Xbox have enough to combat Sony as far as exclusive, like head-to-head exclusive for exclusive? Do they? Because I don't think Xbox has a developer that's better than Naughty Dog. Even with the Bethesda acquisition, I still think they don't have a developer better than Naughty Dog. Do you? Okay, go.
No, go ahead.
What do you think they have enough to go toe to toe with what Sony's going to bring?
Absolutely, because here's the thing, right? Sony, I'd rather. This is how this is the scenario we're gonna see. We're gonna have a scenario where, let's say, PlayStation puts out 3 games, right, in 1 year. One of them's probably gonna be a 90 game of the year, contender, possibly, and the other 2 is probably gonna be mid 80s or high 80s, runner up type games. If Xbox can get you 5 or 6 games, all high 80s, and then you get 2 90s out of it, based off their pedigree now, Bethesda. Isn't Doom typically approximately like nearly usually a GOTY contender and a 90 rated game, pretty much?
Yep, Eternal was a contender last year.
The worst mainline Fallout game was an 88. It's just Fallout 4. I mean, and I'm almost certain it was nominated for Game of the Year that year. Skyrim, has there been a bad Elder Scrolls game?
That is true.
Bethesda's titles alone can help Xbox on that end, right? So that's just Bethesda alone who makes games. You know what I mean? I don't know. They may not have something. The thing is, Sony with their IPs, they're specializing in this, narrative driven, over the shoulder third person action experience. This Hollywood experience that they got. Cool. But Xbox right now has everything else. They have racers on lock. They have shooters on lock. They have RPGs on lock. They have so if Sony's going to dominate that market of games, and Xbox dominates everything else, I'd rather take the Xbox route. Because what Microsoft is doing is, I'm playing on the Xbox platform for majority of the year, and then maybe for that one time a year, I'm gonna turn on the PS5 to play the next Last of Us or the Uncharted or Spider-Man, obviously. But if you're telling me, there's a potential chance that Xbox can roll out a major RPG and Halo in the same year, and Forza Horizon 5, so they can roll out a major in 3 different categories.
That's a hit. Yeah.
I mean,
but like I said, though, I'm still on the mindset is that these games that are going to come out can't just be good, because they don't have the luxury of these games just being good. They have to be great,
bro.
And no. Because They just don't have the luxury like that, man. They
will be great. How do you wonder? Okay, they'll be more than great. They'll be spectacular. They're going to be spectacular. But I got one final question to pose to you, and then we can get out of here. Right? I tweeted this. Now, let me know if you agree or disagree. Okay. As it stands today, right, of the releases we know of, as it stands today, there's nothing stopping Halo Infinite from being nominated and winning Game of the Year. Agree or disagree? From what we know, as of today, of what we know what's coming out.
I disagree only because, I disagree and I agree at the same time. And that solely falls on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Forbidden West.
Yeah. I mean, Forbidden West. Sorry, yeah, Forbidden West. If Forbidden West is more of the same as Zero Dawn, then Halo would probably take Game of the Year. But if Forbidden West surpasses what Zero Dawn has done, then I can see it going to Forbidden West. But that's one of my fears with Forbidden West is that, again, because it's going on PS4, I just don't think that Forbidden West is going to take that leap. I think they're going to give us more of the same, and that's not what I want. Mm-hmm. I want them to take that leap. And if it was only on next gen, it would have been that. But because it's on PS4, I don't think so. So I'm gonna say you got an 80% shot if Horizon is what I think is going to be. But if it's not, if it surpasses Forbidden West, that's going to be a battle. That's going to be a battle.
I'm looking forward to it. Break off Horizon. And I'll say this. Horizon was, I'm going to say this, and I'll reveal this to you guys. Horizon Zero Dawn was probably my game of the generation. I feel like it was one of the games that did something completely different, graphically look good. I had beef with couple of the things in here that made, because I thought Aloy is too generic, and I didn't really, but the gameplay, the graphics, and the concept, probably the dopest concept that was introduced this generation. So Forbidden West, but I think Halo Infinite stands a chance. I think it stands a chance.
Hey, like Xbox right now is riding on Halo, and it has to deliver. If Halo doesn't deliver this year, it will. Man, it's y'all not gonna live this one down.
If Halo doesn't deliver, Starfield will. Man. I got that as a backup, bro. Shout out to Randall Thor. He says for $5. He says, "I told you not to be worried, smooth, Bethesda exclusive Xbox." Now I'll tell you guys where this came from. Right on Tuesday when Xbox Wire post came out. And they're talking about some games. The first thing I did was ran to Randall Thor's inbox, and I'm sitting there yelling like, "What the fuck is wrong with them?" I was like, "These dudes is taking games from them every year, and they still want to try to support these motherfuckers with games." Like I'm going off, like I'm just mad typing. Right. And Randall was sort of like, I said Randall. Randall's very calm, and I'm like, all right, he's calm for a reason. I'll wait till the 11th, and I sort of fell back. So yeah, I was ticked off, but yeah, Rand, you were right. As always. And
I like before we get out of here, just to emphasize on this again. This is a shake 'em. This is a game changer. This is big for Xbox, man. And I know PlayStation guys want to downplay this and now say Bethesda is trash, but this was huge, man. For those games to be exclusive to Game Pass, hey, man, you can't do nothing but tip your hat off.
Very huge.
But like I said, that's what they were supposed. They had to do that.
Absolutely.
When we talked about it on the last podcast, they had to. So this is huge. That is huge.
Dre, you gotta hurry up and get yourself a Series X console because.
Speaking of that, I had to calm myself down. I had one in my cart at Target. Went to go hit the add to cart. It said it was sold out. So I'm just like, come on. So I've been on Twitter all day because PS5 restock happened today.
Yep.
So I've been on Twitter all day hoping for a Series X restock.
You know who?
Nothing so far.
You know, Microsoft.
I was pissed at it. I was pissed.
I
had it.
That's crazy. Microsoft website does theirs in the middle of the fucking night, and it's like they don't do it in the middle of the business day. So when the tweet goes out, I'm like, what the fuck? How am I supposed? So it's like it's smart, but it's easier to miss. So because everybody else is going between like the business hours of 12 and 3, Microsoft typically would do that shit at like 7 o'clock. It'll restock there.
At this point, I'm just release them to retail.
Yeah.
Like there's no point of doing these stealth drops.
Yeah.
Cities are open, even though they shouldn't be, but they are. People are shopping. Just like, and I think if you release them to retail, that will stop the scalpers.
Yeah, it would.
Because then the stores could manage on how many are getting these consoles. Just release them to retail, and I think that would solve the problem. People could get them.
Yeah, shout out to J-Main. Like, he managed to get one. I hit his DM. I was like, yo.
Yeah,
like,
I did too.
And how much did he tell you?
Well, I offered retail price. He was like, sorry, dog.
Yeah, because I was like,
I got it.
Yeah, I said, how much for this? He's like, the highest offer he got was $750. I was like, all right. I'm like, bro, really? Bro, like, come on, dog. Like, the most I'm willing to pay for an extra one is $600. And, like that's the most I'm willing to spend for it. But you know, my Xbox Series X has been finally after these these few updates. But but I still want that second one.
I really want one too, man. I really want to.
If I come across one, like I said, I'll hit you up and send it your way. That's what I do with the Series X. But nobody wants the Series S.
Series S has been available.
Yeah, I can get a Series S. I want the Series X. Oh man, but we appreciate you guys for tuning in to another episode of Let's Talk Games podcast. Next week will be episode 10. Hopefully we got more stuff to talk about. And man, it's been a pleasure. Shout out to the new members who joined today. Shout out to those who donated with the super chat. That'll be Rand and Hustle and Motivate and Fazo, Dirt Griggity and Optimus Code. Everyone, we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week, man. Hope you guys enjoy. Stay safe out there. Peace.
Yeah. See you guys next week.